Masterminders, what's happened? I am super excited to be here today to share a very, very important topic with you in our monthly video, and it deals with sales. That's right, marketing and sales, specifically the art of the consultation and the sales process. And I do have a little bit of a PowerPoint presentation I want to infuse in this when we get going on the 10-step magical sales system that I put together. I've been working on this actually for several months. And I really truly, firmly believe that the message found within this video right here can help you if you turn everything off around, get out your notebook, and maybe you have your old, from the retreat, your mastermind notebook. But if not, get out a journal, notebook, take notes, and ask questions, because I'm also going to place this video on our Facebook page. If you have any questions on what I say, please ask in the Facebook. It could have been a coaching call, but I wanted to have a very concerted, concentrated effort on sales and marketing, specifically sales and how you can increase sales in your business. A couple things before I just dive into the program I want to talk about. Number one is it's going to be delivered in two parts. You have this video, I'll infuse the PowerPoint, but because this is the art of the consultation and the sales process, I actually have Julie Wilcox. We're filming a actual consultation for you so that from A to Z, soup to nuts, you're going to have our complete consultation in real time. It's like a case study, so you can actually see what we do. And this is something that I've perfected after many, many years of doing consultations myself. Now, Julie handles about 80% of the consultations at Fitness Quest 10, and we do have a few other people that can do consultations for both athletes and the regular fitness enthusiast or client as well. But Julie's the master at consultations. We have close to a 90% conversion ratio in our consultations. So I want you to study that video. And when she's working with Daphne, just on the questions, on the listening, on the empathy, I want you to watch for the little things, because a lot of times when it comes to sales, it comes down to little things on how you connect with someone. If someone feels like they like you or they trust you, they feel like they're at home. And I recently heard something that, the old adage, people like to do business that they know, like, and trust. I recently heard that that word like needs to be love, that they know, love, and trust. So what are you doing to make sure that they feel loved by you as well? So I'm excited for you to watch that as well. It's going to be probably 20 to 30 minutes long on that video. So you have a lot coming at you between this and that. And I often liken the sales process to a wheel. And when you think of the wheel, what part of the wheel may be broken or what part can be improved? If you think of like a dam, like a water dam, if one part is broken, everything could really turn to disaster. And I want you to think about your sales process right now versus, oh, Todd, I need more sales in my business. Don't we all? We all want that. And that's why I'm spending time today discussing this, is what specifically within your process can you improve to improve your sales? Start off with the question, what exactly do you want to achieve with your increased sales? How much do you want to increase your sales? Are we talking $500 a month? Are we talking $5,000 a month? Are we talking $10,000 a month? Whatever that may be, I want you to put that on paper and state your intention, because I think it's important to understand first, how much do you want or do you need to increase your sales? I was listening to a podcast the other day, and it was on I believe it was an EntreLeadership podcast, and it was a gentleman that wrote a book. And in this podcast and in his book, it's on money. He talks about, in order to run a more profitable business, you have to do exactly opposite what most people do. And this happens in the fitness industry quite a bit. Many times people will pay their expenses, and then whatever's left over, they'll pay themselves at the very end. And then if there's anything after that, that's profit of the business. What this gentleman, Mike, and it's a long last name, I can't pronounce it, talked about was, if you think about different silos of your business, when money comes in, take whatever profit you want. Let's say it's 5% or 1% or 10%. I like to say between, double digits, 10 to 20% minimally you want profit, and put that silo away for profit. And then after that, you pay yourself, and then you pay the expenses. Meaning if you don't have enough to pay expenses, then you're going to trim some expenses. And what is not ultimately allowing you to get an ROI in your business, right? So I want you to have a more profitable business. I want you to make it rain with more revenue and increase your income. And I hope in this 10-point process I'm going to share with you, you can glean something that could make a difference. And it could be a small thing, or maybe it's a big thing. But let's hop into it now, and we'll talk about the 10-step magical sales system on that. The first one, let me do a screen share as well, so you can see part of the process I'm going to do with this. And I'm going to share a screen so you guys can see that. The art of a consultation and sales process, the 10-step magical sales system. The first aspect when it comes to this obviously is marketing. And I'm not going to beat this very long because you have a lot of content within the mastermind, both on our website and what Rob does on a monthly basis on all aspects, including Facebook ads, website, opt-in landing page, social media. The thing with external marketing, reaching out, many times you do need to cast a wider net and get out there more. And we've talked about this, but what is it specifically that you can do within either your Facebook ads or your website, which still is important? Is it a landing page where you need to create a more enticing offer to get people to want to sign up for whatever you're giving away for free? And your social media, how often are you posting, and how frequent and how relevant is the content? We talk about content marketing. I really love what Gary Vee talked about in a recent vlog that he had about documenting versus creating. So many times I think we get stuck with what am I going to create this week or this month in my YouTube or my newsletter versus just documenting what you already do and documenting the stories within your training. And that is content, and that is creation as well. So the constant quest for creation, you could simply document as well. So out of these here, even that I list out, which ones could you improve upon? Because obviously marketing, which is hopefully going to feed into your sales, because if you're effectively marketing, you're going to get new people coming in, client acquisition into your consultation. And the key, which I'm going to spend a lot of time on, is this consultation process, because you already have a lot of the information on the casting the net out there, getting more people, funneling them on in. And hopefully this cog in the wheel here is something that's already strong. If not, ask any questions you want on the Facebook page on any of these 10, and I will get back to you on that. So, one of them is, are you ready to explode your business, your personal growth, or whatever it may be? What does your landing page look like? What does your website look like? And are you keeping it up to date? This is important. And whether you do it, you have a virtual assistant do it, you have someone on your team do it, make sure you pay attention to the little things that it takes. And that takes some focused, concerted effort on your time. When we talk about an advertisement, and we still do like what's called the Script Ranch newsletter, a local newsletter that goes to 10,000 households. It's about $500 a month. And I'm always measuring the ROI on that to see. Part of it's branding and keeping the name relevant. So when someone's ready, they come into the facility. And I do want to have some conversion as well. But here's the thing, that every time that we put together an ad, and I share my vision with Rob, and he creates something, and we usually tweak it probably 2, 3, 4 times. And then I share it with Julie and our team to say, hey, is this the most relevant thing? I want to know, does this piece of paper that's going to be in a newsletter or print, does it have emotion? Like, is it going to bring out an emotion in someone? Because if it's not, it's nothing more than text on paper or a picture on paper. It has to relate to your avatar, to your core client that you want to attract in that. So the 6 things that every ad should have, if you do ads, and most of you do, or maybe you should think about, because I do think it's relevant if it's the right ad, is, does it have a catchy headline, right? And I'm going to share an actual attachment to this when I send it out via email that will give you some more further ideas and just ways you can think about what is a catchy headline. Many of us in our ads now typically you sell features and not benefits. I've been saying this for years. Guys, you have to sell benefits, not features. What's the benefit to the client? Not the feature of your program, but the benefit they're going to get out of it. Is it they're going to have increased energy? Are they going to have personal manifestation? Are they going to feel better? All of these things are benefits that they're going to feel. Feeling is an emotion, and people buy with emotion, right? So you've got to make sure you tap into the emotional aspect of everyone that you're trying to market to. Also, what is your offer? You should have a strong offer, an offer that they got to make, wow, that's an incredible offer. I really need to think about that. It's been on my mind. I want to call up Fitness Quest 10 and schedule a consultation to see what that is. And a strong offer, you want some urgency. You want some a deadline to that, and you'll see that on a strong offer. You always want to have a deadline. Don't have, it's hey, sign up today and receive this. It's have a deadline so there's urgency, because as you know, deadlines do count. This sounds so like basic, but contact information number 4. I can't tell you how many times I actually look at an ad, someone else's ad, and like all of their contact information is not there. Now, we always have phone number, we have email, we have social media as well, because people like to communicate in different ways today. It makes me think back last year, I believe it was, someone at a conference came up to me and actually showed me a business card. Believe it or not, she had a business card. And there was no phone number on it. She forgot. It was all this great stuff on bridal boot camps, and there was no contact information. I was like, she was so excited. I said, "You're missing something. I don't know how to contact you." She's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Where's your phone number? Where's your social media?" And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I don't have it on there." So like, basic 101. Have your contact information on every ad, and make sure if you're the one that's construing your ads, you have someone else, your husband, your wife, a trainer, a client, anyone look at it and really try to throw holes in it, because you have one shot. When you're investing $500 or $100 or $1,000 or a mailer, you want to make sure it's right and it looks clean and clear. The more you can use third-party endorsements and testimonials, whether it be print or video, obviously here in an ad that's print, it'd be print. Testimonials, third-party endorsements really help promote your offer and your marketing slick. So have that. And then try to limit your text, because people today, guys, don't read. They look at pictures. It has to be big headlines and bold. And people read headlines today. They don't read the content. As a matter of fact, even in our own newsletter, we're trying to cut down on the amount of content that I'm writing and just having more video, because people will watch video. We start our vlog on that. And I encourage you, when it comes to marketing, I shared earlier this month about the 7 hacks to explode your brand. Much of this is covered in that, but that's what we're doing, the strategy that we're using from a marketing standpoint as well. And we talk about a strong offer. One of the strongest offers we use now, and hopefully you know when I say you have a strong offer, do you have a strong offer? If I was to come to your studio or gym and you said, "Todd, I really want you to be a client or a member here," what would that offer be? What would you entice me with to want to sign up? At Fitness Quest 10, when Julie has the consultation, which you have access to now in this month's video, when you look at the consultation, there's many different things that you can get involved with. And one of the things that we offer that's very strong is our startup trial offer. And it's $129. $129, which it's valued over $300. We actually give away a 1-hour personal training session, a 1-hour Pilates session, a small group training session, a 30-minute massage, and unlimited group training and unlimited use of the facility. That's crazy. But why do we do that? Number one, I want new people to be attracted to all of our different services here. I want them exposed to Pilates, to massage, to small group, large group, and personal training. And if they experience our culture for a month, I believe if our systems are in place, that they're going to experience our culture, they're going to want to invest $129 or more a month. That's kind of our sweet spot, the $129 membership. If we get someone in unlimited small group, large group training, EFT for 129, that's a really good sweet spot for us, and that's where we want them. So that's an important offer that we have in our marketing side. Now, internally, we look at internal marketing inside. How do we do that? Emails, word of mouth, and collateral. Emails still are important. Please, if you have a database, whatever database you use, you want to have emails go out. We try to go at least once a week, and they're not sales emails, right? It's content that you're educating and motivating your clients on. I call them internally, I call them, hey, Rob, Julie, we're going to have a three bullet point email go out. And maybe one of the 3 bullet points that goes out is an actual offer or our bikini boot camp that's going on. We're trying to sign people up for whatever that may be. It might be on that, but the other one might be a link to a blog I just wrote on the 7 ways to optimize your health and vitality. Another one might be on the impact scholarships that we're giving out here in June time. So it's a kind of an announcement, but we're trying to make it compelling. When I'm working with Rob on the marketing side on an email or collateral, I always talk about, especially with email, is when you have a desire to get them to become members, don't just start your social media post or your email post with something that is just the offer. Look at the overarching principle that you're trying to get to. So let's say we have something on leadership on a vlog. I want to make sure that there's a sentence or 2 or 3 that encapsulates the entire philosophy of leadership so that more people are likely to read that, get drawn into it, versus they're being sold right away on something as well. So in your emails, make sure you're speaking a universal language in the beginning and then funnel into a more specific aspect. But do connect with your people, and you know your avatar best and your client best. So what are you doing to reach your people? Word of mouth. Don't just think because you're good, word of mouth is spreading. Guys, we are in an uber competitive space. We are in a more competitive environment than ever before. There's more studios and clubs. There's more chains opening up in your backyard, and you've got to be dialed in. Don't forget to thank your clients, and don't forget to ask your clients for help. Help how? Help in saying, if you really like our class, if you really like our training, please feel free to let your friends and coworkers and colleagues know about my services, our services, and send them on in. For example, last night after class I was teaching, a woman came up to me during class and she said, I have a question for you I want to ask after class. I said, no problem. After class, she comes up to me and said, here's what I was thinking. I was in a board meeting at my bank the other day, and it was all about high performance and how we could do better at the bank. And I really believe that if we're going to be fiscally better in the bank, then we have to be fitness wise, we need to get better. I would like to gift some of my coworkers the opportunity to come here and take one of your classes. I said, great idea. How about I give you a few free classes that you can gift to them, make it special so they come in with you. Now, that's a great example of your own client opening up and sharing that they're interested in having one of their coworkers come in with them. That is someone that's already qualified. This is critical. So the follow up with the word of mouth is, that would be great. Here's some guest passes. I'd love for you to have her or them come into class with you, and we'll make it special for them. So please don't underestimate the power of your word of mouth, of what you say to your clients to get new people to come in. And lastly, your collateral on that is just, what you're giving people when they come in, prospects or even current members. When you gift this woman's name was Mary Beth. So last night when Mary Beth left, she left with a brochure and guest passes so she could gift that away. I know she knows about our services, but when she can gift away at our brochure, that's a very qualified lead. That's important. What does your collateral look like? Recently, a couple of years ago, we actually updated our collateral because we have so many services here. Maybe it's time for an update for you on your collateral. Do a little audit of your own collateral and see, is it up to snuff? Does it have everything that you want on there? If not, spend a few hours over the next several weeks and update that. Send it to a professional printer and get that collateral, because I believe it's still important in giving an impression when a prospect comes in to your business. speaking of prospecting, number two on this, who is your avatar? Who is your client? I know we've talked a lot in the mastermind about avatar, but it's important that every time you market here, I say is marketing, you know who you are speaking to, right? Who are you spending money on your Facebook ads? Who are you targeting on that? The prospect for your website. In your opt-in, is your avatar going to be interested in what you're giving away? So on the fitnessquest10.com site, if our prospect and our avatar that we want to attract is the 35 to 55-year-old female, do you think that if I had the top 7 ways to shed 0.2 of a second off your 40-yard dash time is going to be a good opt-in to get our avatar to sign up for a consultation? No, right? We want to have that offer that we have, that opt-in that we're going to have. We want to make sure that it's going to speak to the avatar. So if you could right now on your piece of paper, write down 2 or 3 short blogs, posts, articles, programs that you would want to gift away for your opt-in, for your lead magnet, in sexy terms, the lead magnet. Don't get all enamored by the language. It's a free opt-in to gift them away something. But when they get that lead magnet, that brings them into your brand, and now they become a prospect, and then hopefully through a sequence of 1, 2, or 3 emails on an automated campaign, you could then turn them into someone that signs up for the consultation, so you can convert them into a client so you can increase your sales. So again, what is that offer for you that you're going to offer as well? It's important. Now, let me share this in number 3. This cannot be underemphasized or overemphasized, because if I underemphasize the fact that every single time that phone rings, it's critical. And my directors of first impressions, I call them DOFIs, the directors of first impressions, when that phone rings, man, that's an opportunity. And anytime anyone ever comes in and inquires about our business, that's an opportunity. So there's some rules, so to speak, that when the phone rings, ideally, they answer it within 3 rings. All right. So if it rings too long, is it critical? No, but we try to answer the phone quickly and promptly on that, because it's a really important impression when someone makes, when you answer within a couple rings and you have a smile on your face. I even inquire and tell my folks to stand up when they're talking on the phone, because the energy shifts. So if I was to stand up and talk, my energy would shift, and you're naturally heightened state of energy with that. Smile, because it changes the energy on the phone call, and people can feel you smiling through the phone. One of the most common questions that you're going to get when someone calls you up is, hey, how much does personal training cost? How much does massage therapy cost? And they're price shopping. You don't want to answer that question when someone first asks, because they're price shopping, and you don't want to get into a price war, because down the street they're cheaper. They're not better, but they might be cheaper. And you don't want them to go towards cheap. You want them to go towards best. So typically when someone calls up and says, how much is a personal training session, or how much does a massage therapy session cost, we are schooled and trained on asking the next question. Well, it depends on what type of massage therapy session you're looking for, or it depends on what your goals are for personal training. Are you looking to lose weight? Are you in pain? What do you have going on with you for your goals? And they start to tell you what their goals are. So that's great, because we have 17 qualified trainers here, and depending on your exact need that we'll ascertain in a consultation, we're going to put you with the person with the best credentials, so they can help you attain your goals. And they say, well, that's great. What are the costs? And you say, well, depends again on the level of the certification, the experience of our trainers on that. When you come in for your consultation, we'll lay it all out. It's typically going to range between $60 and $100, or whatever the range is going to be. You start with the low end, don't start the high end. You start the low end because they hear 60. Oh, that's really good. So you might start with 35, because in a small group training, it might be $35. So it ranges between $35 to $150 for a session, depending on your exact needs. And by having that stall, they just heard $35. They think they can afford you for $35. But again, it depends on, do they want one-on-one? Do they want small group? Do they want large group training? It doesn't necessarily mean it's less experienced or less qualified. So it's all the way to simply get them in the doors. And that's an important aspect. So when people call up, that energy comes through. And also, don't forget, you're always being judged. People are always sizing you up. They either like you or they don't like you. And I've been known at Fitness Quest 10 here, sometimes I'll just call up my directors of first impressions when I'm on the road and disguise my voice. I just want to see like how friendly they are. And if I say, "Hi, this is Smedley Rudenbaker, and I'd like to get a massage today," and they're like, "Okay, what type of massage are you looking for?" I'm like, "I'm not sure. My back is really hurt, and I'm looking for someone to make sure I get my back out of pain." And they're like, they don't know what to make of it. They don't know if it's me or not. They don't want to mess up. So I'm like, "Can I get in sometime today or tomorrow? Because this is not going to work. I have a lot of pain down in my feet." Right. So as I'm disguising my voice and that, usually goes on for 30 to 60 seconds. They're like, "Todd, what are you doing? How can we help?" But I want to know, or I'll even have my buddies sometimes call up. I want to know how we doing. And if you answer the phone, you know what you're doing. But if you have other people answering the phone, it's a really important aspect to the overall cog in the wheel, because here's the deal. You could be the best trainer. You could be the best strength and conditioning coach, best Pilates instructor, massage therapist, chiropractor. But if this aspect is missing, do you know how much it's costing you to market? For us, it's thousands of dollars a month, literally $1,000 a month between all our resources with marketing. That if it works and someone calls in and has a bad impression within 20 seconds, we just lost the entire $2,000, $3,000 a month in all the different ways we market in many different avenues, because someone on their wasn't on their A game at the front desk. That's not acceptable. So we want to make sure that we maximize that opportunity every time. Now, when someone comes in, you've heard me say this before, but I want you to think about it. I want you to train it. Are you training all of your people on the tour, asking them the big three questions? Matter of fact, could you recite the big three questions? Do you know what they are? So when someone comes in, or if I came into your facility, what are the three questions that you would ask me? Very good. What have you tried in the past? Why didn't it work? And how can I best help you? What do you want to achieve? These three questions basically size up your entire consultation. This is where I'm all going in the 10-step sales process here, is the tour. I don't know. Is your tour good? I can tell you this. Most directors of first impressions, receptions that come in at Fitness Quest 10 in the beginning, they're not good at tours. They're not, because they haven't been trained in giving a tour. They're good at walking around and showing, this is the Woodway, this is the total gym, this is the TRX. Like, people could give two rats butts about the equipment. Honestly, they don't really care. What they care about is how are you going to help them achieve their goals. So it's more important, as you're getting the quote tour around the studio or the consultation, is that you're asking them, what they're about, what's their story, what brings them in, what have they tried in the past? And they tell you what they've tried. You're like, well, why didn't that work? And they tell you why it didn't work. They spill it on out. And you better be able to rebuke why your program is different and how you're going to be able to help them, so that when you ask them, so what are you looking to achieve? Why are you here? How can we best help you? They share that, and then you just, you mimic and mirror that back and how you speak to them, and you share with what aspects of your program can help them achieve the goals and desires they want. Because guys, the people that are coming in, your prospects, remember, they often are coming in and they might be reluctant. They might not like fitness. They may be scared or intimidated by that, but they have a strong need, and you have to connect with them on an emotional level. And when you explain all this, it's important that they understand, why your program is different and why it's better. So the next step in the tour is book a consultation. The number one thing we want anyone at our director of first impression or trainer that gives a tour is book a free consultation. Book the consultation and book it as soon as you possibly can. And if they want it now, we do our best to honor it now, because even though fitness isn't impulsive, when people do come in, they're often ready to commit to something that's going to help their lifestyle out. So that consultation is key. Now, at this point, you can either stop the video or watch Julie's consultation she's doing with Daphne in her consultation, so you get a really good idea. But a couple things on the consultation, I'll share it with you as well in writing. In the consultation, I think it's important that you realize the intake forms that they fill out are important, and that you review the intake form in the consultation, that you understand their goals, and you always ask them, how can we best help you on that? So take a look when Julie's going through this. Again, not what she's just saying, but also the empathy behind it. And at the end of every consultation, you then want to take the consultation into a conversion, and you want to convert them. And hopefully you convert them. And regardless, you're always going to leave them with collateral and a goodie bag. And the goodie bag, you want to load up the goodie bag with as much as possible. Why? Because in the honeymoon phase, when someone first signs up with you the first 90 days, that goodie bag is absolutely essential. And in our goodie bag, we have books. So the WOW book used to be the Impact Life Plan. Now we use the WOW book, Fitness Quest 10 shirts, Under Armour bag. We'll use the Keto OS, Shakeology, guest passes, wristbands, so the Impact Band and the WOW band. We load them up with everything. I want them wearing our Fitness Quest 10 Impact shirts, WOW shirts. Give them away and make them feel like the most important thing since sliced bread. We want them going out and being so excited for their next session or their first session to go out there and talk, because we want people in our community quacking about what they just did and how excited they are. So load them up with a goodie bag. And it doesn't have to be the extent that we do. Ours has evolved and grown, and it still continues to change all the time. But we do want to introduce them to some different things at Fitness Quest 10 and genuinely share with them how excited we are to be part of their fitness journey as well. And number 5, the actual consultation, we got into it. That's where we talk about all the things, like you're going to see Julie in the consultation. You have your roadmap. And this is something we spent a lot of time with. If you want our roadmap, the Fitness Quest 10 roadmap, more than happy to share via PDF of that. Please make sure that if you use any portion of this, because it's a very important cog to the consultation wheel for us, that you change the name. Don't use Fitness Quest 10. Use your name. And obviously, you're going to have a little bit different services than us, potentially. But when you see here, even on the screen, when you look at small group training, large group training, massage and bodywork training, and facility use, I would say when I'm having a consultation with you, I want to hear you and listen to you. And when I ask how I can best help you, I'm framing you up to what spoke or which wheel do you go to, and I'm hearing you'd be best in personal training, one-to-one training, in that I'm going to put you over there, because I don't want to confuse you with all of your different options, because then you leave with like, man, I'm confused, let me think about it, and that's not good. So you want to try to narrow it down, put them over here, explain the benefits, and ask them what their budget is. And if they say their budget is $500 a month or $800 a month or $100 a month, that could also predicate which silo you're going to put them in the different service availabilities and opportunities as well, based on budget. So you can always, if they say, hey, I have a $100 a month budget, and you say, well, you're probably most apt for the large group training membership, you could say, would you be willing to invest up front, possibly 6 one-on-one sessions in the beginning? Because I truly believe that if you have some training with the style of training that we're going to do, you'll have a more positive experience in the large group training session as well. And 6 sessions is going to cost $80 a session. So it's going to be $480 investment initially, but we really believe that by doing that, you'll get the most bang for your buck. Is that something that you'd be willing to do? And then have that awkward pause there, because when you tell them how much it's going to cost and what that investment is going to be, is that something that you're willing to invest in? That language that you speak is really important. And they're going to say, yes, I can do that, or no, I don't think I can do that. Then you might say, okay, I understand. Maybe you would consider doing a small group training session a few times, because I do believe that is important. And if not, then they don't want to do that, then that's their prerogative. But you're just trying to educate them on the best opportunity for them to succeed, right? So that's an important aspect in the consultation aspect. And then please, guys, remember, even if you're a one-person show, and I know in the mastermind we do have a lot of people that are one-person shows, is sell your philosophy, sell your team. In the beginning, the greatest mistake I made was just selling me. And as our team grew, one of the most difficult transitions I had was then selling Brett Klicka to other people. Yes, Brett, when he got started, no one wanted to work with Brett or anyone else because they were so used to me that they were attached. And as you guys know, your clients get attached to you. So if you have a team, sell your team, sell your philosophy. When I do a consultation now, and I sometimes still do consultations, I enjoy them. It really keeps me in touch with what people are asking for, is just selling your team and how great they are, and that and you'll probably hear Julie say it with Daphne, is whether it be massage therapy, personal training, Pilates, is we highly suggest and recommend that you work with 2 trainers in the beginning. Although all of our trainers are awesome, depending on your schedule, depending on the timing, depending on just your chemistry, you may prefer one trainer versus the other. It doesn't matter because all of our trainers work as one team. We're employees. We're not contractors. They're not competing for the number of clients. They want clients that they can best help, that want to work with them. So don't feel like you're going to hurt their feelings. We want you to have the best experience, and all of our teammates are going to pour into you as if you're the only one. So does that make sense to you, and why we would have 2 or 3 trainers work with you in the beginning? And they say, yes, of course it does. That sounds great. I'll try 2 or 3. And then you would say, fantastic. We'll touch base after your first couple sessions, and you can let me know. Maybe you like working with 2 or 3 different trainers, or maybe you prefer one of them. And again, if you like working with this one trainer, that's great. We want you to get the most out of your investment, and we'll make sure that we schedule accordingly as well. And right from there, you've set the tone and the precedent that you work with multiple trainers. And I can't tell you how important that's been for us in any transition or turnover, whether a trainer gets fired, they quit, something happens, they're sick. I've got a trainer out right now. There's been a bug going around San Diego with the stomach flu, and the trainers are passing around to each other. But fortunately, our clients aren't canceling. We're getting them covered with other trainers because our clients are used to working with other trainers. This is really important because if we had a trainer that was out for 3 days or 4 days and we lost that revenue from a business, that would not be good, and it's unnecessary. You don't have to do that. It really just takes your system, in beginning with your consultation, to make sure that you do that. So start with your team and sell your team on that as well. How are we doing so far, guys? You enjoying this? You liking it? I want to just take a time out for a moment here at number 6 and give you a kudos at halftime, because when you're talking about the sales process, the sales system, consultations, sometimes you don't love this aspect, but I want you just to feel how important it is to connect with your clients in a consultation or a tour or a phone call, because it really is that connection that will set you up so your client can come in and experience your training and the wonderful benefits to become a long-term client. And I'll talk about this later, but as you know, 90% of sales is client retention. 90% of sales is client retention. That means only 10% is client acquisition. And while you want to increase your sales and revenue, I get to understand that. The 10% of people you want to attract, because you do, and you spend a lot of time marketing that, you want to make sure you keep them. Because if you're attracting people and getting new people, but losing your existing people, that's not good business. And you're actually going to be losing money, or your business will not be as profitable as it could and should be. So let's talk about conversion in number 6 here. In the conversion aspect, when someone comes in, how do you best convert them? And we talked about swag with goodies. You want to make sure you thank your people all the time. And when you convert someone, they become a client in that honeymoon phase. You've got to shower them with acknowledgement and praise, and make sure you reassure them that the investment that they made in themselves is going to pay big dividends in their lives, in their relationships, in their finances, in every aspect. But you got to pour into people. And are you and your team pouring into your clients and members enough? So you finally get a new person in, you convert them, and then there's got to be a system that happens to communicate. For us, when someone becomes a client, we do have an automated email sequence that I have worked on to make sure that they understand all of their options. So let's say someone signs up for one-on-one personal training, and they do 12 sessions, because we do still sell packages at Fitness Quest 10. We have very much a hybrid model where we have large group training, small group training, one-on-one training, and different services. We want people to know all their options, including massage therapy and chiropractic and Pilates. We want to make sure they know of different programs we have going on. So this is a really important aspect. We want to introduce them to our private Facebook page just for our members and clients, because then they can connect. And when they can connect, now they can share what they've eaten. They can share recipes. They can share their struggles, their victories in classes or a session. And this helps the whole experience become better as well. So all of that's important in the conversion process. Is so once they commit, they sign up and they become clients, realize that the process doesn't stop then. And the communication from you, if you're the one doing the consultation, into the fact when they become a client with one of your trainers, you communicating to your trainers all of their goals and needs and desires is absolutely essential, so that trainer knows and understands them. So it's not starting all over. And the trainer then says, so tell me about yourself. What are your goals? And they'd be like, I just sat down with Julie for an hour and shared all my goals with her. So they would see a missing link in the chain of communication. It doesn't happen. This takes systems, this takes time, it takes effort and conscious awareness, hence me saying it, on what you can do to make sure that your conversion process is much smoother as well. Number 7 is the onboarding process. So what happens when they took their intake forms, you use them in a consultation. For us, I'll share with what we do. Those intake forms go into MindBody and Infusionsoft. MindBody is how we track all of our sessions. Infusionsoft is our primary form of communication with our clients when it comes to my emails and newsletters as well. And we have our automated email sequence that goes out as well. Also in the onboarding process, that's really, really important, is we now have InBody. This is when they get tested for their body fat. Part of their overall onboarding process will be they're going to get fit tested. They're going to have body comp assessments, and that will be tracked via InBody for us. I know several of you have InBody. Some are using calipers, some are using Biodex and different forms of body fat assessment. But part of our process is being stored in there. Some of you have different means of tracking and keeping records on that. And that, again, in the onboarding process, once you convert the onboarding process, you convert them. The onboarding process is discussing and communicating with that trainer in a literally sit down 10-minute discussion of going through their intake form, going through their goals, any notes you took. So you could see Julie taking notes in the consultation process. And that's an important aspect as well on that onboarding process. And that's going to last, a lot of times the onboarding process is going to be up to 3 months long, because that 90-day honeymoon period is critical. And the follow-up, follow-through, okay, this is where a lot of people break down, guys, and they don't do great in their business aspect. And I know I'm talking turkey today, and that was my purpose and intent, is to look at all the different spokes in the wheel. Like when someone commits $500, $1,000, $1,500, $2,500, $5,000 to you and buys a package, invests in your program, are you sharing that with them a handwritten thank you note? Are you following up with them? For us, what we have done is I have now made one of our directors of first impressions. She's responsible for anyone that signs up with a new package. She's the one that writes the handwritten thank you note. And every client gets that, a handwritten thank you note. That's important, because in that aspect of follow-up, follow-through, I just feel a lot of people drop the ball on number 8, is that they got the money, they converted them, the onboarding process is somewhat begun, and it just jumps into training. And they're in a training, and it's just hopefully the trainer can maintain them as a client, whether they can or they can't. Hopefully they're good trainers and good business people. But the follow through with constant communication, they get the emails, the Facebook posts that you're making, any ways you can educate and motivate them on a regular basis is certainly going to help. Number 9 of 10 is your communication with your team. So how are you best communicating with your team? See, for me, this is a great challenge. We've got 38 teammates, 38 employees, and many of them are busy. I'm busy. So there's several different ways that we communicate with our team. Number one, a private Facebook page is one way that our team likes that. They see that 24/7. They're on Facebook when I'm not, and vice versa. We use emails also in that. We have a Google group, just like in the mastermind. We have Google groups, and we have a private Facebook page. It's no different for my Fitness Quest 10 team in the way to communicate. We do quarterly meetings. Every 90 days, we have a team meeting with all 38 people on our team. But we also break it down, and we have our monthly personal growth meetings that I'm leading, the impact personal growth meetings. And then on a weekly basis, I'm meeting with my leadership team at least once a week. And folks like Julie and Rob and Larry, I'm meeting practically daily on many moving parts, whether it be in the mastermind, whether it be with marketing, with anything that comes up on the operational side with Julie. It's an everyday thing. So what is your communication? Because here's what I find. If you want to build a great culture where your fans are raving about you, you got to have your team in alignment. And that's not always easy. And there's times even at Fitness Quest 10 where I'm like, man, something's like, I got to change the energy somehow. There's a couple things that are out of place. Maybe someone's dealing with something personally in their home life, and it's affecting the quality of their sessions, training, or Pilates, or whatever it may be, or they're not feeling physically, they're not feeling well, and their mind's not right. Like, these things happen. Heck, I recently had a staff member's parent reach out to me and ask if I would spend a few minutes with this person because they sensed that something in their personal life wasn't right. And I really appreciated that. Because I didn't have a clue that this person was dealing with a relationship issue that was affecting them, because at work it wasn't affecting them. And the mere fact that I reached out to this person and just said, hey, how you doing? How's everything going? And they opened up, and it really became a cool discussion. That's important. Why? Because I care about my people, and I want them to know that I care. Because when I'm always so busy and they're busy, it could probably sometimes appear that I'm in my own little world, or that they're in their own little world, and it just for time to go by. So trying to capture those moments where you can communicate for a few minutes even would that go a long way. So, number 9, what can you do to improve your communication with your own team? Because they're going to drive the culture. Your staff and team is going to drive culture in everything. And that goes for even Rob on my team marketing. Like, if he's not on his A game, in my own personal belief, then our marketing isn't going to be as crisp and as clear and concise as if he's working out, everything's flowing good, and he's doing good. Like Julie, if her personal life wasn't good, then she's not going to be flowing. And Larry, if my people are all falling apart and I'm not aware of that, then it's going to show. Because when we talk about the way you do one thing is the way you do everything, like, everything truly does count, and your communication counts. So it comes back to caring, right? And listening and communicating with that. And sometimes communication is sometimes listening even more than speaking as well. Lastly, let's go to this, because we're talking about sales and the art of the consultation, the sales process, the 10-step magical sales system. I believe out of all of the different ways, the 9 previous ways I just shared, these are very systematic. There's steps that you have to follow, and they have to be trained, and they have to be communicated, and you have to set expectations and give feedback, no doubt. But the fun stuff, the things that we really love to do, is how do we create lifelong clients? Because in my world, and what I try to do is, I do want people that are going to be here for the rest of their life. I do want to create an atmosphere and an ambiance and an energy that people are attracted to, and they want to be part of that, and they want to really be significant in that environment as well. So always offer value that will make clients loyal to you. So if you are offering any service or program, is it valuable to them? And is it the right price point, right? Like, people value value. So what are you doing to establish the value of your program? Like, if you're due for a price increase with your services, can you justify why your training now is worth $5 or $10 more per session? Now, even if you are due for a price increase, it's still scary. It's still like, man, I don't know if I should do this because you're dealing with people's money. But if you're establishing a value far greater than the 60, 80, 100, $100 session that you may charge for a session, whatever it is that your whole entire system charges, you always want to offer a value that exceeds what you believe is just that service, and make customers loyal to you where they don't want to go anywhere else. They can't go anywhere else because there's going to be other brands that come in that might be better marketers than you. They might get people in the door, but can they keep people in the door? And I want you to have a business that can keep people in the door, because if you can keep 100% of your people in the door, or a large percentage of the people in the door, and you attract new people, after several months, then you could achieve your goal of whatever you set forth in the beginning of this call when I asked you, how much more a month do you want to make? $500, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 more a month? You have to put that down on paper, and you have to create a system through these 10 steps that's going to allow you to do that, so that your clients do feel a sense of belonging. They know that this is the right community, the right family for them, that you do get into the personal development and self-improvement. Guys, girls, every single one of our clients need, not want. They need self-improvement ongoing. So what are you offering besides just your personal training, or your large group training, or your small group training, or your Pilates, or your massage? Outside of that 30 or 60-minute window that you're doing, what are you doing to improve them? How many touch points do you have opportunities for them to have outside of the 2 to 3 times a week they're coming to your studio or gym? So are you having educational workshops once a month or once a quarter? Are you having any socials or parties for them at certain seasonal times or big events such as anniversaries, birthdays, whatever it is? How often are you bringing together your community, your congregation, and getting them to celebrate? Because when they celebrate, that's going to provide an entire culture that is going to be really important to the success of your business. So continue to remind them of how valuable they are to you, and remind them of what your culture is about. Remind them of the core values of what you and your team stand for. Remind them of the investment that they made and how it's going to pay off if they continue to work hard, because adults are like kids, and kids constantly need to be reminded of why they need certain behaviors. This field is all about behavioral management, and you know that. So what are you doing to continually put in people's minds and heads of what they're doing to be their absolute best? I put here a sense of achievement. Now, I guess the bottom line is this. Your clients and members start with you because they have a goal, and they want to lose weight, or they want to feel better, they want to get out of pain. And ultimately, they do want to do that. Maybe there's some other intrinsic things they want to get out of the sessions or out of their lifestyle as well, but they want to feel like they've achieved. So what are you doing to celebrate achievement when they hit a certain goal? Are you so good that you're actually following up with a text, a voicemail, an audio, a celebration, gifting them a book, or gifting them a shirt or something because they hit a certain milestone? Maybe they simply want to complete a 5K or a 5-mile race or a 10K race, walk, jog, run, a biathlon, a triathlon, an Ironman, a rim to rim, climbing a mountain, whatever it is. Maybe they set out with a goal and they've achieved that. The more you shower them with praise, the more special they're going to feel. And folks, in today's day, it doesn't happen very often. Think of the number of times you visit a restaurant recently and just had the most amazing experience because of the service that your waiter or waitress had. It's few and far between that happens. And the words I'm speaking today, although they may resonate with you, the key is that you take action on one of these 10 aspects to say, where can I get better in these 10 different steps? And maybe you're good at 7 or 8 or 9 of them, but maybe you can get better in this last one or the first one. In the marketing side of things, or maybe it's the third one, whatever it may be, that's important in the overall making sure that the 10-step magical sales system really is about the culture you create to attract new people to the energy that you're going to attract, so that when you attract them and you educate them about your services, they're going to think about personal training or classes or boot camps or Pilates about, again, the benefits. What am I going to get out of this? What am I going to get out of this? Is it worth the investment? Anytime you make a decision, you ask yourself the same question. Is it worth the investment? Is it worth the investment for you to fly to Telluride for the mastermind retreat? Heck yeah, it is. Why? Well, because I know when I'm around 50 or 100 other fire-breathing dragons, I'm going to get 5 new big ideas that I'm going to take, and I need my juices flowing. One of the reasons why I've always been part of coaching groups and why I lead a coaching group is because when my juices are flowing outside of here, I come back in here into the business, and I'm a better manager, a better leader, better boss, better visionary, better entrepreneur on that. So being educated about your service would be, how do your clients understand cognitively that the choice they make is going to help them, but then they feel emotionally that, you know what, this is the right thing to do because I'm a better man or woman, a better mom or dad or husband or wife when I am training at ABC Studio, when I'm doing this and I'm committed, and you constantly have those follow-ups and follow-throughs with people, whether it be email, text, audio, visual, social media, all of these things, because we don't know how people are consuming content now, because there's so many ways people are consuming content. And although we say, yeah, be great at 1 or 2, which ones are you great at? You got to know where your avatar is hanging, where they're spending their time, and you got to make sure you're spending time in there as well and really hitting a home run in that area, because it always comes down to how are you making people feel, and are you helping people, right? Are you helping people to the maximum level, right? And that's a key aspect when it comes to creating lifelong clients. So here's what I want to do, guys, to end this portion of the program about that is, when we look at relevance and are you being relevant, you got to be relevant. Your business has to be relevant. And how do you be relevant? How do you be relevant? I mean, that's a deep question, but how do you maximize your relevance? Now, you've heard me say this before, and I truly mean it. As a mastermind member, each of you have different gifts, right? And some of you are strong in some areas, some of you are weak in other areas. Don't beat yourself up and focus just on your weaknesses. Of course, we want to get stronger in our weakest areas because you don't like weak cogs in the wheel or the dam, as I shared. But I want you to think about, when it comes to relevance for your clients, how do you best shine? How does your team best shine? How does your brand shine in the community? If you love going out and giving demos to the little leagues and to different signups, do it. If you love doing motivational talks, do more of it. Does that mean if you don't like doing it, you should not do it? Absolutely not. No, I still believe you should, because the more you speak and the more you write, I believe you position yourself as the expert in your community, the go-to resource that people need. They need, so that when the time is right and someone suffers a diagnosis of compartment syndrome, piriformis syndrome, torn rotator cuff, or type 2 diabetes, or cancer, or stroke, or heart disease, elevated blood pressure and cholesterol. When someone all of a sudden gets a diagnosis, the first thing they think of is, man, I need to go see Todd. That's what you want. You want them thinking of you first in their mind when something goes wrong, or when they're finally ready to make the decision that it's time for me to take hold of my life. It's time for me to get started with living healthier and improve my lifestyle, because there's probably, I'm going to guess, 5, 6, 7 or more different brands within 5 miles of your facility. And I want them thinking of you first. I want them thinking of you first. There's no other brands out there that are on this call right now, listening into the 10 steps of the sales system and constantly evolving. And I believe one of the things that separates us apart from everyone else is heart. I know you care. I know you care. So we want to make sure that you show that you care enough. Now, if you're not sophisticated in the systems that I outlined in here, I do want you to improve upon these. I do want you to communicate this with your team and your staff. But I believe that when you heighten this and you work on the marketing in number 1, you work on the prospecting, the incoming phone call, the tour in number 4, 5 was consultation, and you have the video, please watch the video with Julie on the art of the great consultation, the conversion process, the onboarding process, and I'll share with you, please read the document I sent with this on even our 8-step automated email sequence. I put the titles of what we cover in that. Number 8, the follow through. 9 was the team and staff communication, and then 10 was creating lifelong clients. I believe when you're tapped into all of these things, then you can do your best to make sure that you improve your sales and you improve your profitability. Guys, remember this when it comes to sales. Sales is sharing your story, getting out there more and communicating the gospel of the great things that you do. Don't be shy to share that with email, on audio, on video, on social. Like, go out there and evangelize what you do. And don't be shy, because if you're shy, someone else out there that's not shy is going to attract that client that should be with you. They should be with you because you care more than most other people out there. So get out there and evangelize. Guys, that's my message for this month's monthly video. I wanted to really dive into the art of the consultation, the sales process, and share with you our 10-step magical sales system. Our team gets indoctrinated on this, and I've never dived into it as in depth as in this month with all of this I'm sharing, and then with the actual consultation, so you get to experience kind of being a fly on the wall in a consultation. And I hope that, again, you can just glean one piece of information and content out of here that'll help you in your process. And I welcome questions. Maybe some specific things came up for you today. Ask them on the Facebook page so that everyone can see them. I promise you, if you have a question on any step of the 10, someone else has the same question. As a matter of fact, there's probably at least 10 of you that have that same question. So don't be hesitant. Don't be shy. Ask the questions on anything of the sales process. But I want you to shift. I want you to shift your belief system and your ideas about sales. And if you're struggling with sales, I want you to make sure that you write on paper what you want to manifest. How much more a month do you want to make? Put it down on paper. And put down the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different ways that you can actually improve your revenue, your income, and your sales relating to what your stated intention is. And maybe 1 or 2 or 3 of those deal with one of the 10 aspects I talked to in these 10 steps here. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's something you want to create. But I do think it takes laser-like focus to make sure you say, okay, I'd like to, over the next 3 months or 6 months, increase revenues and sales to this, and this is how I'm going to do that. So if you do it, I would love to know what your stated intentions are. Feel free to share with me. More importantly, share it with the group. Let me see what you've got. Let the team see what you've got. I want to make an additional $5,000 a month. Here's the 5 ways I'm going to do that. Boom, 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 whatever it deals with, whether it be getting more clients, whether it be improving your personal brand, whether it be writing a book, whether it be getting more involved in an MLM that you believe in, that you use, whether it's more retail with shirts, whether it's online products, programs, speaking, whatever it is. Like, there's a lot of ways to increase sales, but I'm really talking today primarily, I was talking about the onboarding process and the sales system of an actual brick and mortar, but it applies, all these lessons to apply, even if it's online, because when someone becomes a member or a client of you and they buy your book, they become a client of yours, and you need to take great care of them and communicate with them and share your vision with them and how you could best help them and give them other options too. So guys, I really look forward to hearing feedback of what you liked about this, what questions you have, and how I could best serve. I do have a calendar for the mastermind ongoing for the year. But as always, I want to make sure that I'm specific to your questions on this. So if any question you have relating to the sales process, We can never perfect this. We're dealing with human beings. So the more in tune we are with our systems on this process, the better we're going to be. Have an incredible day. Go out there and make a difference. Know that what you do truly does count. Take care of your team. Take care of your clients, customers, and take care of you. Have a great day, guys. Peace. God bless. All right. Peace, guys.